If you look at a map of Eastern Europe today, really look at it, stripped of the propaganda and the moralizing rhetoric of the Western press, you see a tragedy that was entirely predictable. We are standing on the precipice of the final act in Ukraine, a strategic checkmate that has been visible on the horizon for months, if not years, to anyone willing to see the world as it actually is, rather than how they wish it to be. The focus of this impending catastrophe, the point where the hammer will finally fall, is Odessa. For the better part of 2 years, the narrative managers in Washington and London have tried to convince you that this conflict is a stalemate or even a slow, grinding victory for the NATO-backed forces. They speak of counteroffensives and wonder weapons, of Abrams tanks and F-16 seconds, as if war is a video game where the right cheat code can reverse the fundamental realities of geography and demographics. But while the cameras were focused on the mud of the Donbass, the real strategic existential threat has always been to the south. We are witnessing the unfolding of a scenario that terrified strategic planners for generations, a scenario that spells not just the defeat of the current government in Kyiv, but the absolute disintegration of Ukraine as a viable, functional state. We are watching the creation of a landlocked rump state, a broken fragment of a nation cut off from the sea, dependent entirely on Western charity for its survival. And this realization, this cold, hard dawn of reality, is finally starting to induce panic in the back rooms of the Pentagon in Brussels. They know that without Odessa, the war is effectively over. They know that if Russia controls the entire Black Sea coast, the project to weaken Moscow has not only failed, but backfired in the most catastrophic way imaginable. To understand why this is happening and why it was inevitable, we have to step back from the daily headlines and look at the grand sweep of history. We have to look at this through the lens of realism. Great powers behave in predictable ways. They are driven by the imperative of survival and the domination of their immediate periphery. This is not about good versus evil, or democracy versus autocracy, despite what the State Department spokespeople regurgitate from their podiums. This is about security architecture and the immutable laws of power. For centuries, the Russian grand strategy has been obsessed with one thing above all else: access to warm water ports. From Peter the Great to Catherine the Great, the drive to the Black Sea was not an imperial vanity project. It was a matter of economic and military life or death. Odessa is not just a city, it is the pearl of the Black Sea, the economic lung through which the vast agricultural and industrial wealth of the steppe flows to the world. It is a city built by Russian empresses and defended